Okay, this is our 6 year anniversary. So here are 6 things that I have learned in marriage. Number one, not in any particular order, but it matters how I respond. So one time, Hannah was giving me attitude, and I knew I was correct about the situation. So I responded. The words that I said were correct, but I responded in a particular way that was not healthy or conducive for the conversation. And when I went into my prayer closet later, something that the Lord was telling me, because I was like, Lord, you need to fix her, blah, 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 right? He was basically saying, son, you were right in what you said, but you were wrong in how you said it. And I think that's really important to take into consideration when you are conversing with your spouse and you're maybe being offended by how they're approaching you. And you may be correct, but you need to make sure that you are always staying submitted on under who God has called you to be, and then the Lord will work on them in His timing. It may not be in your timing, but He will work on them in His timing. Number two, okay, I need to lead even when I'm unsure. And what I mean by that is sometimes we get into a space where we believe God called us to do something and then we try to do it and it doesn't work out the way that we thought it was going to work out. That's not the time as the man or the head of the household to shrink back because you're like, oh, well, now I'm unsure. Because what I've seen happen, and I've done this, what I've seen happen is like, okay, well, I guess it didn't go the way that I thought. And then time elapses and then you see that the thing that God told you to do should have been the thing that you should have did the entire time, and now you're upset because you didn't follow the instructions even through the unsurety of the season. And now guess whose fault that is? That's your fault, bro. That's your fault, bro. At the end of the day, I, as the head of the household, am held liable to our Father in heaven on if we did what God asked us to do, even through uncertainty. I hope that makes sense. Number three, sometimes my wife just needs a hug, and I can get so focused on just plowing through life, plowing through work, just the day-to-day grind of I need to do this, I need to work out, I need to make sure this is it, I need to take out the trash, da, 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 da. I'm so list and goal orientated that I'll just fly by my wife, and in my head I'm like, yeah, I love you, I know that I love you, but she still needs that affection in the day-to-day to make sure that I'm bringing her along the way that she needs to be brought along. She desires to be loved along the way. I am more desired of like actions as we're going along help me to know that you love me and we're on the journey. And so I'm trying to love her in the way that I want to be loved, and that doesn't work, obviously. Middle of the day, stop everything you're doing, stop your thought process, go hug and make out with your wife. Number four, the community you prioritize matters. Oh my gosh, I cannot stress this enough. Of the Lord has done an amazing job, because He's just such a craftsman. He's done an amazing job at isolating us. Isolating is probably not the right word. We had our own bubble of pocket, if you will, of solitude and just being with Him, and then bringing in people who understood that solitude with the Lord, who were able to pour into that and grow it. Being in unhealthy community will 1,000% fuel the flames of the fire that will spark in marriages. You can't have unhealthy family members feeding into different conversations. You can't have unhealthy friends feeding into different conversations, and now you're annoyed. That I can always tell. I love you, Hannah. I can always tell when she has spent too much time with the girls and gossip. She works in a hair salon and all that, because she comes home and she's got a certain type of attitude, and I don't even know if I could say this. She's got a certain type of just way about her. She's been at at work and men type of deal. And I'm like, nope, we're not doing that. We are not doing that today. Overall, you really have to protect your marriage with Christ-like community. And if you don't do that, you will find yourselves bickering with each other just simply based on the environments you've placed yourself in. Number 5, just because I'm not getting what I believe I need in that season from my spouse does not give me the right to withhold what they are asking for, what they feel that they need. That is demonic, it's manipulative, and it is selfish at the root. And it's hard to tell that sometimes while you're in it because it feels so validating. Well, she's not respecting me and she said this, so I'm not giving her a hug, or I'm not doing. No, marriage is about dying to self, whether the person deserves it or not. You are to give your everything and sacrifice yourself for that person, especially the head of the household. We're called to die for our wives as Christ died for the church. Last one, submission versus surrender. When you don't have another choice and you just are at your wits end of like, all right, this is what it is, that's a beautiful place to be, in surrender, and God will have his way in that. However, submission is when you have a choice to do something else but you choose to be obedient to God. That submission factor is so much more powerful because you have the ability to go with your flesh, but you decide to go with the spirit. When you go with the spirit instead of your flesh, it is such a revitalizing, refreshing for your marriage when especially when your spouse is accustomed to you responding in a certain way, and then you don't, and you respond with the spirit. Not only are you refreshing yourself, but it's like you're filling their cup with something that, like, imagine just being in a desert and somebody's handing you an ice cold glass of water, and it's just like, wow, that was, thank you. And when you spend years in a marriage and then you hit that point where somebody refreshes you that you weren't expecting to get refreshed from, it is a beautiful place to be with your spouse. Respond with the spirit and not your flesh, and it will help you have a healthy and happy long marriage. God bless you.